Tanjiro's life is changed when his family is killed by a demon and his sister is transformed into a demon herself. I discuss this and more on today's episode. Welcome back to Around the Weird, a booktube channel where I talk about all the unusual and out of the ordinary literature that I've found in my travels. Today, I want to talk about some more manga that I read. I am still on that manga grind, and today's manga is all about demons and such. I am referring to Demon Slayer Volume 1 by Kayahara Gotouge, which was published in 2016. For those who don't know, Kayahara Gotouge is the pen name of a Japanese writer who has been writing since the mid-2000s. They've written a couple of manga series, but the one that's really taken off for them is the Demon Slayer series, which is the last sort of thing that they've written. I don't know if they published anything since then, but it seems this is sort of the last series that they've focused on. And as I just mentioned, they've won a number of awards for their work, but most people don't know who Kayahara or Gotouge is because that is just a pen name, and that seems to be the case. I'm starting to get the feeling that knowing an author's name is very rare in manga. I know Kotaro Miura, that's a name that is and it goes to an actual person, but that might not be the case for all the writers of manga in the various genres. But you don't really need to know who this person is. You just need to know that they are a quality writer. So without further ado, let's talk about Demon Slayer Volume 1. I will do a little summary, an analysis, and we will move on from there. So Demon Slayer Volume 1 focuses on Tanjiro Kamado. He is a young boy living in the mountains with his family, and he frequently provides for his family in the form of going down to the village at the foot of the mountains and selling charcoal in order to help his family get food and other such things. And so he, in fact, does go and do that. Everyone kind of greets him and says hello. And then he returns shortly thereafter to find that his family has been killed. And his sister, Nezuko, is barely alive. So he picks her up and tries to take her down the mountain. But at this point, his sister transforms into a violent demon and tries to eat him. He's able to sort of convince her not to do that as she's crying visually in the art, and it seems like she's going to not try to eat him at all. But at this point, a demon slayer named Giyu shows up, and Giyu wants to kill his sister. But Tanjiro tries to stop him, and Giyu realizes that his sister Nezuko is actually trying to protect Tanjiro, and so Giyu agrees to let Tanjiro and Nezuko live under the condition that they go and train under a master demon slayer, which Tanjiro goes and tries to do. Along the way, he gets into a fight with another demon that proves to be hard to kill, but he's rescued or sort of saved in some capacity by Sakonji, who is the demon slayer trainer. And Sakonji is sort of taken aback by how bad Tanjiro is at all this. He seems way too kind and soft and not able to effectively fight these demons that want everyone dead. And the only way that this demon dies is that it's hit by sunlight, which, like a vampire, causes it to burst into flames. A short while later, after Sakonji agrees to train Tanjiro, Nezuko falls into a coma that she doesn't seem to be waking from, and so Tanjiro tries to continue to train to become better so that he can confront the demons, maybe get a cure for his sister, and figure out what's going on here. Sakonji proves to be a very harsh trainer, but Tanjiro does appear to be getting better. and he receives some help from two mysterious children named Sabito and Makomo, who push him to get better. And then at one point they try to fight with him, and they're fighting near where Sakonji wants Tanjiro to sort of split a boulder, and when he tries to strike his sword at Sabito, it's revealed that Sabito was a ghost, and he's able to split the boulder in half there, which allows Sakonji to send Tanjiro off for final selection. Basically, whoever manages to pass final selection is made into an official Demon Slayer, part of the Demon Slayer Guild of sorts. When Tanjiro gets to the mountain where the final selection takes place, all of the sort of young people are sent into a nearby forest to fight some demons that were captured. And this results in the appearance of a giant demon that has killed quite a few people. And it begins bragging that it killed Sabito and Makomo, because Tanjiro is wearing a mask that Sabito wore, and it seems like this big demon is targeting people who have been trained by Sakonji in order to send a message to Sakonji. Tanjiro proceeds to fight this big demon, getting an upper hand, but that's where the story ends there. It's left up in it's left up in the air whether Tanjiro is going to win, and it'll probably be further addressed in Volume 2. In terms of analysis, there is a fair bit to talk about with Volume 1 of Demon Slayer. One of the main ideas, the sort of central idea of the story, seems to be of that of true strength. Gotouge argues that Tanjiro needs new strength to face this demon threat, that who he was before was not enough, so he must adapt and become a stronger person. Of course, he is just a child, and that's a lot to ask of a child. It seems like everyone who comes across him argues that he's too kind and boyish. He's not a man yet. He's a little too soft in that regard, not willing to do what is necessary to kill, which you would expect of a child. Again, like no one is saying that a child needs to kill, but these people are saying, if you want to avenge your family, you got to be a lot stronger than what you are. And Giyu even says that Tanjiro needs to pull from his inner anger, given to the rage, so that he can become an effective fighter. Allow me to read you an interesting quote from this. Fill your heart with anger, strong, pure anger that gives no quarter, anger that becomes the unwavering force that drives your limbs. And that's a fun little quote, just highlighting the anger that Giyu feels that Tanjiro needs in order to become a stronger force, a more effective demon slayer, if he is in fact going to train to become a demon slayer. And it does seem like that's actually what happens to Tanjiro, because by the end we see that he is very competent in fighting, and he's able to take down some demons, or at least hold his own against demons like the one that he has to face in the final selection. But we'll find out for sure in the next volume, because we didn't see if he actually defeated that demon. But I'm guessing he probably will, because they wouldn't kill their protagonist off in the second volume of the series, unless they were trying to do something bold, which I don't think they're. While I do think the storytelling is bold, I don't think that's what's going to happen here. And ultimately it all comes off as very sad, because Tanjiro needed to kind of grow up very quickly after what happened to his family, and so he's lost any semblance of a normal childlike life, which he wasn't getting beforehand because he had to provide for his family. But that's another thing entirely. And indeed, another big theme of this particular volume is that of family. There's a high emphasis placed on the value of family by Gotouge. To Gotouge, family seems to be the most important, and you got to protect and provide for that family. Tanjiro shows this early on because he has a job where he's providing for his family. His family can't seem to make ends meet, and so he has to go down to the village and sell charcoal and run errands for various villagers in order to provide for everyone, in order to make sure that his family has food on the table and whatnot. And then you see this later on when after his family dies, and he vows to avenge them, but he also is unwilling to kill his sister, even though that seems like the smartest option. And maybe that has something to do with his soft nature. Like, he loves his sister dearly, and he doesn't want to have to kill her. He's going to seek out a cure. So that is in fact the driving force of the story, is his sister, family, and therefore also love. Because what are you willing to do for those that you love? If they're in danger, you're going to try to find any possible answer, whether that be maybe killing the demon that turned your sister into a demon, or maybe like finding a cure, if that is at all possible. So I do like what Gotouge has to say about family here. It's very touching and makes this story like a little bit tender, in addition to the pretty cool action that you see. Other things I want to note is that the art is pretty good. It does kind of resemble like those old like 15th century Japanese sort of paintings with like those great action scenes and the heroic figures and all of that. So it's very thematic, because that's exactly what Gotouge is trying to depict here. And then the mystical connection, where you see a lot of the supernatural in the story, including demons and demon slayers, and like the fox mask, which seems to grant some luck or something like that. And you see ghosts or spirits as well helping the protagonist. So definitely an interesting addition, and all of it seems to serve a purpose for the story. So I can't wait to see where Gotouge takes that from here. Anyway, those are my thoughts on Volume 1 of Demon Slayer. Pretty solid entry into this beginning of the series. I definitely enjoyed it. And I do hope that there is more substance in future volumes. It's pretty good where it's at, but I do think this could be more fully explored as time goes on. So I'm definitely going to recommend this. It was a lot of fun. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comments below if you've already read it, or if you just want to comment on my review here. I would love to hear from you. Otherwise, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe so that more people can find out about this manga or this author if they don't already know. And until then, I wish you the best of luck in your weird and demon-slaying travels. Farewell.